global markets are rallying after the US and Iran reached a breakthrough peace agreement, raising hopes for greater stability across the Middle East. Oil prices have again fallen sharply, with Brent Crude now trading around $83 a barrel as fears of prolonged supply disruptions are easing. So yesterday it was at 84, now it has reduced further to $83 per barrel. So global oil prices have tumbled, and this is a 3-month low that we've seen. This is not as low as, of course, it was in February last year, but it has tumbled to a 3-month low, and stock markets also at record highs amid the hopes that a US-Iran peace deal could end the greatest energy supply crisis, Mayank, that the entire world has seen. In the history of the markets, this is perhaps the greatest energy supply crisis that was witnessed. And now that reports are suggesting that it could electronically have been signed between the US and Iran, no doubt the markets are cheering and oil prices are falling.
Pratibha, the most important point which needs to be in a way, I mean, the kind of impression which comes when we talk of Strait of Hormuz is as if Iran is the only nation which is which holds significance in that area. What we need to understand is actually there are other countries which are supplying energy and fuel for the nations across the globe actually,
yes.
And that could include in terms of not only petroleum products, gases also which come from that side, chemicals also come from that side, which are utilized generally for agricultural purposes. So this area has been covering a larger mass, and
yes.
different areas were affected because of negatively affected.
And multiple
because of the kind of
being affected. Just a moment, Mayank, do stay with us. We have market expert Mr. Sharad Kohli also on the broadcast with us. Thank you for joining us. Clearly, the markets are cheering the optimism that the Strait of Hormuz could be reopened soon.
Good morning, Pratibha, to you and the viewers. Indeed, market is celebrating because we saw that happening yesterday. But, you know, a very cautious approach is desirable because Strait of Hormuz will open officially on Friday. But we should not forget there are land mines or sea mines which have been laid under, so that might take a while to clear. So free flow of container traffic can take some time, probably longer than what we're imagining, which means the crude oil prices, which are currently hovering around 83, I think may take some time to go back to the level of, we should not forget, just before the war, they were between $65 and $70. I think it will go to $75 odd in about a couple of weeks' time, and that will help in improving, but it will take a while for supplies to improve. But a big sigh of relief, you know, for the markets around the world. We also saw gold and silver, by the way, shining because of the rupee improving, because of the bond yields in America going slightly down, because of the dollar index improving. So overall, but then the extent of damage has been so much that it will take a while for things to reverse. I think people must keep a watch on what's going to happen over 2-3 weeks. Inflation, once it seeps in, Pratibha, it takes a while to go back. You cannot reverse inflation overnight. A lot of people are expecting magic to happen, that, you know, now since everything is okay, probably inflation tomorrow will go down. But then the inflation, once it seeps in, it's like seepage in the wall. It takes a while to dry up. But then the process has started, which is good news, Pratibha.
Okay, all right, Mr. Kohli, thank you for joining us. Well, for now, there is a lot of hope that this will continue. It may take a while, but markets are cheering the sentiment that very soon things are going to be much better. In fact, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, meanwhile, has spoken about the peace memorandum, and speaking to Israeli media, Netanyahu has said that Israel will continue to safeguard its security interests and maintain pressure on threats posed by Iran. The Israeli leader also said that the campaign inflicted significant damage on Iran's military and strategic capabilities, stressing that Israel's mission is not yet complete. He, in fact, also reiterated that Israel will not compromise on national security and will continue acting against threats wherever necessary. So this is what the Israeli Prime Minister has said, going on to say that what is important for Israel is security for its nation, and that is still going to continue. So let's talk about what this actually means. And Netanyahu has drawn a firm red line on Iran's nuclear ambitions despite the emerging US-Iran peace memorandum. And he was speaking amid the growing debate over this entire agreement and what this would mean for the region if Lebanon and Israel are not part of this. So Netanyahu has declared that Iran will never be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons with or without a deal in peace. So let's now also tell you what this would actually mean and which are the sticking points. Because remember, this peace deal has been worked upon for several days, several weeks and several months now. So Iran has been clear there should be protection for Hezbollah as well as Lebanon. They should also be included in this peace deal. So they should have protection from Israel. That was one of the points that Iran has raised multiple points. Protecting Lebanon's sovereignty and saying that there should be an absolute halt to Israeli operations in Lebanon. The United States, though, has said that it cannot control Israel's military objectives, saying that Israel's stand is the stand of Israel, that the United States will not be able to speak on that. Will Israel stop bombing Lebanon, and is there going to be another threat to this peace or not? That question, unfortunately, still remains unanswered. I'm thanking Srinjoy as well as Mayank for joining us on the broadcast with all those details and slipping into a very short break here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.